Hi, everyone, and welcome to game number 2 of tonight's semi-final coverage. Dan Yuzerski alongside David Smith and Alec Krauthammer, my partners. And guys, this is a huge game for both of these teams, and this might be the most hyped game of the playoffs coming in. And David, I'll start with you. RKE, they're 10-1 right now. They've won the midseason tournament, and they have as good a team basketball as anyone in the league.
I mean, there is no one that plays more well-rounded as a team than RKE. They share the ball. They get everyone involved. Sidney Brown and Kyle Cardacci combined for one of the best 1-2 punches in the entire league, but they might be going up against the other best 1-2 backcourt punch in Justin Robinson and Xander Rice. Both can put up points in bunches, so we'll see who will come home victorious tonight. But a huge tidbit right now, no Alahan Demir and no Chris Brady for Seaview to start. So look for RKE to take advantage of that mismatch with Seaview missing probably their two best bigs.
Yeah, absolutely. Demir has been electric as just one of those solid four men who can really play on the outside and inside. And Chris Brady, what more could you say about him? He's been the best rebounder in the JSBL this year. He's been great on the low block as well, even has some shot creation in his own game. And this is a big loss for those two guys. Even if one was out, it would be a pretty sizable loss. But having both of them not here tonight, I mean, this might swing. I think this probably swings things in RKE's favor if they weren't already favored. And
not only even that, having A.J. Sunbury, who's wearing number 3, he just gets the tip and wins it. Having him is huge as well for RKE because he's been a good big for them as well. Horton tries a 3, lines it up and hits, and it's quickly 3-0 RKE.
We know how consistently well Cardacci and Brown can knock it down from beyond the arc. I think Horton is going to be that X factor. We know Seaview can put up points in bunches like we just saw there with Rice. So Horton's going to have to be firing on all cylinders from beyond the arc.
Collins lines up a 3. That one doesn't fall, rebounded by O'Garo. And you talk about IT, he was the guy who hit the shot in the big game winner against intern helpers the other night as Rice. Another 3. He's been fantastic shooting downtown from all summer. Here's Horton. He'll drive on O'Garo. Swing it up top, Collins. Back up top. It's a 3 for Horton, and he hits.
And a great catch and shoot there for Horton. When he's been here, he hasn't been here for all the games. When he has been here, he's been a great shooter, has played at a few schools, most recently at Texas. He's been a great shot maker for this RKE team, and like Dave mentioned, the game winner in that last game against intern helpers. Oh, my goodness.
Xander Rice. And 1. He's got 9 points in the first minute and 9 seconds. A chance for one more.
He is totally locked in right now, and seems like him and Justin Robinson kind of swap games where they're going to be the main guy and hit from the outside, and it's looking like Xander Rice has taken over already.
I mean, he did that so many times at Monmouth this year. Very impressive.
I mean, you can't even put into words how stupidly impressive that was. I mean, defense draped all over him, banked it in at probably the most difficult degree that there is.
Here's Horton. He's got the 6 points. So it's Rice 10, Horton 6 as Sunbury tries a 3. That one off the mark, no good. Fight for the rebound. Robinson saved it, and it goes to Barnes. Here's Rice. He'll try another 3. That one off the mark, no good. Right there for the rebound and putback was Barnes, but he missed. Cardacci swinging a 3, lined it up but couldn't hit. Barnes gets the rebound. Both teams favoring the outside shot early on. Here's Rice, lost the ball. Barnes gets it back. Brown the steal. He lobs it. Swing it to the corner. Cardacci, an open look. Book it. A 3, and it's 10-9.
And Cardacci has started slow in some of these recent games, but good to see him getting on early, quick here. And I don't know if our viewers can hear it, but we can certainly hear it already. Dan Singleton, the extra coach out there on the sidelines for RKE Athletic.
He's even got the kids fired up over there.
I mean, he's such a joy to watch, too, because he's been really good for them. Sunbury lines up a 3. That one off the mark, no good. Rebounded by Barnes. Looks like Collins overran the rebound a little bit.
Sunbury's shot also looks very off and discombobulated right now. 2 bad misses to start for him.
As Mahoney denied out of bounds by Collins. Collins won a high school championship in this gym, trying to vouch for one down here at the JSBL. Here's Mahoney off the inbound. That one falls. Rice has impacted all 12 points, and it's 12-9 Seaview. Horton tries a three. That one halfway down and out. Robinson speeding to the rim, laying it up and in. Robinson makes it a 5-point game. Cardacy almost lost it. They get it up top. Brown feeds Sumbry, who slams it in.
And that's that team basketball that we talked about. Sidney Brown with a great feed into Sumbry there. It seems everybody on this RKE team is willing to make the extra pass to get the open shot.
As Robinson, another block for Collins. Here's Cardacy. Brown, good feed. Sumbry off the glass, no good. Rebound, and he's fouled on the putback.
And Sumbry, the biggest guy out there. Again, Seaview Jeep missing Chris Brady so far, and Brady is probably one of the tallest players out there, so his presence would have been a huge impact. But Sumbry, a really big guy, is it looks like Chris Brady. Can't tell if he's entered the gym or not, but Sumbry, again, he's got that size advantage so far.
Oh no, that's Dortch. Dortch and Brady kind of look alike, though.
They do. They're both really big guys who can rebound the ball as well, too. And his passing for RKE has been very impressive so far, especially Sidney Brown. He's just so quick when it comes to his hands and his passing as well.
Sumbry missed them both. Here's Mabry off the floor. That one goes, and Mabry starts his night 101. 16-11. Seaview on top over RKE, the number 1 seed. Horton spinning. The right hand mid-range goes off the glass, and it's 16-13. Collins almost got the steal. Now they come away with it. Brown lays it in for Collins, who goes and tried to lay it up and in, was fouled by Mabry. And right away, you're starting to see the good team defense played by RKE.
Yeah, that's really high IQ from Collins. Just jumps at the perfect time to strip the ball away. Brown gets it and flies it up to him. And once again, free throws now for RKE. Their defense has led to offense so far.
I mean, David, as someone that grew up with Jack, how much was he like this when you guys would just be playing pickup?
So Jack was always a tremendous scorer growing up. I mean, in elementary school when I played against him when he went to Manasquan and I went to Spring Lake Heights, he was always their best player, would always put up at least 20 points. Even growing up on AAU, was a great scorer as well. But the thing that's always stood out about Jack, that we always talk about now, is how hard he plays and his willingness to win every loose ball and play harder than anyone on the entire court.
As there's O'Garo laying it in, and it shows everywhere he goes, that Collins effort. Here's Sumbry. Feeds Cardacy, triple from the corner, book it, a three, and he cuts the lead to 1.
Cardacy is at his best when he's getting those movement shots to go. And on that one, a great feed in the corner from Sumbry, and that's an easy look for Cardacy.
And a whistle and a foul here with 5:27 to play in the first quarter.
And we've seen all year the Robinson to the Demir or Brady connection. Now it's to Max Mahoney, who I think going into it wasn't the biggest X factor, but now with the absence of the two of them is by far the biggest X factor. He's really going to have to step up and defend and play well on the block on the interior offensively in order for Seaview to have a chance, because Robinson and Rice can't do everything.
Absolutely. It looks like Nick Davidson and Shaq Scott checked in. Davidson went on that personal 5-0 run to spark the comeback.
There's 6 on the floor for RKE right now.
Yeah. Someone's Sidney Brown sprinting off the floor. Somebody just walked out of bounds to make sure he wasn't the 6th guy.
Some intern helpers like miscommunication. Here's Collins. Dumps it down low for Scott. Stolen by Robinson. Justin, Xander, Mabry, corner 3. That one rattled out.
And a good job there by Sumbry to make sure that he got the closeout on Rice instead of Mabry, because you would much rather Mabry take that shot than Xander Rice, as we know Xander Rice is such a prolific shooter from beyond the arc.
As IT teardrop shot goes, and it's 20-19. First media timeout upcoming. And you're right, and Mabry, one of the best players to ever play in this league, but suffered a foot injury a couple years ago. Hasn't really been the same since. Robinson, Rice, another three. That one doesn't fall. Rebound comes out to Collins. They push it. Shaq Scott laying it up. No good. Rebound by himself. He misses. Another rebound, and he misses again. Rebound. This time it's Sunbury. Collins will try a three and hit. First lead of the night for RKE, courtesy of Jack Collins.
A three is greater than two, and great effort on the boards by Scott and Sunbury, two Wagner teammates, and finds Collins wide open on the perimeter.
As Robinson right away nets it at 22. Maybe the greatest scorer ever at this level of the JSBL, and he ties it with 4 minutes to play. And they tried to lob it in for Horton, and they weren't on the same page, so we take our first media timeout of the night. 3:55 left in quarter number one. We're tied at 22. Welcome back, 22 apiece. And gentlemen, what do you think of the first 6:05 of this game?
I think it's a mix of two great teams playing great basketball. I mean, Xander Rice had the hot hand early. RKE did a great job of adjusting, and then it shifted to Justin Robinson, who did a great job offensively. And that's why it's so dangerous to have such a great 1-2 punch. Not sure what they just
I think they reset the
called.
shot clock.
Oh, yeah, they reset the shot clock. But RKE, like we've seen all season, just great team ball on both ends of the floor. And that's why we've had such a close game.
As Justin Robinson gives Seaview the lead back. Here's Scott right away to answer. Couldn't do it. Collins gets the rebound. Here's Brown. He'll try one from deep and hit. Downtown, Sidney Brown gives RKE the lead.
Brown's three-point shooting has really come along nicely in these more recent games, and that is such a big weapon for him given how quick he is off the dribble.
As Robinson right away tried to answer and couldn't. Here's Mabry. Mahoney, extra pass for Xander Rice, who will drive, feed Mahoney, and whistle and a foul.
That was great ball movement on that Seaview G possession. The ball was really trying to find everyone there, from Mahoney to Mabry to Rice, and then back to Mahoney. Really good ball movement there to get some extra shots, and that's kind of how you get one of those really great defensive teams, is just make great passes and find each other in the right spots.
And that's when basketball is at its best, when teams are looking for that extra pass. It's so much fun to watch when you have three teams that are consistently looking to help their teammate instead of helping themselves.
And you think of some of those like classic, prime Spurs teams, like Duncan, Parker, and Ginobili. The ball was always going around the floor for them.
Or even if you want to bring up a college example, those late 2010 Villanova teams, as Collins on a three. That one is good, and Collins makes it 28-25. He shot the ball so well this summer. As here's Mabry. Goes up with the shot and hits. Mabry cuts it to one. .230 to play in quarter number one. Brown launching on a three. That one no good. Rebound. Fight for it. Tipped out by Barnes into the hands of Robinson. J-Rob. Mid-range. Book it. And Robinson gives Seaview Jeep the lead back. Here's Collins on the other end of the floor. Collins, Scott on the mid-range. That one off the mark, no good. Fight for the rebound. Tipped into the hands of Robinson. Extra pass. Mahoney feeds Rice. Long pass to the corner. Robinson tried to swing it through Brown, and he comes away with the steal. Brown, extra pass to the corner. Collins will try a three and connect. How about Jack Collins' first quarter? It's 31-29.
And that's a heck of a shot by Jack Collins, considering that was not in the shooting pocket on the pass by Sidney Brown. When you make a pass to a shooter, you want it to be in one spot. Collins had to readjust his feet before shooting that and still knocked it down with ease.
Here's Collins getting another loose ball. Scott saves it, and they'll call a foul on, I believe, Mahoney. I mean, it's just unbelievable what Jack does. And you talk about winning players, and Jack is the ultimate winning player.
And he really has shown it so far tonight. He is all over the floor, whether that's with the perimeter shot that, once again, has really come along nicely tonight, or even on his defensive effort, which is always at the max. And it looks like he'll get a breather here for his efforts.
Now, these two teams matched up in the playoffs last year. I don't know if you remember that one, David, but what a game that was between Collins and Xander Rice. So he's ready for the playoffs. Davidson launches on a three and connects. Nick Davidson hits on a three, and it's a 5-point lead approaching a minute to play in the first.
Davidson was huge down the stretch for RKE against Intern last week. He had 5 straight points in order to give them the lead when they were down in that last 45 seconds, and was the catalyst to their comeback.
You're right, and that 5-0 run is something that will go down in JSBL history as one of the craziest moments in playoff history in the 56 years of this wonderful league, as Robinson launching and hitting on a three. J-Rob showing off the range, and it's 34-32. As Cardacy right back, the answer. Both teams showing off what makes them so good on the offensive end of the floor.
We've got a good old-fashioned shootout. Both these teams are shooting at such a high clip.
As Robinson was blocked by Davidson. They get it back. As you have Dan Singleton really hyping up his team. Mabry will step into a three. That one off the rim, no good. RKE can hold for the final shot. 12 seconds to play in the quarter. Cardacy.
Mismatch.
Working on O'Garo. Step back, triple. That one no good. Rebound by Rice. Rice has the history of buzzer beaters. He gets it off, and he couldn't quite get it in. That takes us to the end of the first quarter with RKE up by 5. Welcome back, JSBL action. Dan Yuzerski, David Smith, Alec Krauthamel, and a great first quarter. Anything that stands out to you guys?
I think it's been about what we expected. Both teams are going to play great basketball and team-oriented basketball, and they're going to run up and down the floor too. On some of these possessions, back-to-back-to-back possessions, it's hard to even get a word in. That's how much as action is happening right now, and a lot of the scoring burden has been put on a few guys in this game. Xander Rice and Justin Robinson, the two guys for Seaview Jeep in double figures right now with 10 and 11 respectively. And for RKE, it's the usual suspects, Cardacy, Collins, and Ithiel Horton, who's got 10, 10, and then Cardacy has 9 on 3 3-pointers made. So it's been kind of what we expected so far.
As Robinson and Rice get ready to inbound, and we're underway in quarter number 2. Rice with the ball here. He's got Cardacy on him. Rice with the screen. Finds O'Garo in the corner. Here comes O'Garo, mid-range, falling away, and that one falls I mean, O'Garo gets up so high, it looks like at times it won't go in, but the body control, fantastic.
And that's a poor job right there by Sumbry to close out so aggressive on O'Garo. You got to know the scouting report and know that O'Garo is not the greatest three-point shooter. You live with the three there instead of letting him get to the mid-range spot where he's much more efficient.
Exactly, as Rice cuts the lead to 1 after that turnaround shot. Horton has it at the top of the key. He'll dump it down low. Sumbry backing in Mabry, and I believe they'll get him on an offensive foul. No, it's a travel.
Yeah, he shuffled the feet a little bit too much there. Felt like he didn't really need to do all of that. He had the size mismatch by a wide margin on Mabry, and it doesn't really look like anyone on the CVG team has the size to match up with him, as Mabry got switched on for that possession. So we'll see if they try to emphasize him more in the offense.
Here is Xander Rice. Step back, triple. Didn't get it, but he was fouled on the 3 attempt by Cardace, and Xander Rice has been fouled now on 2 3-point attempts.
And I think a big reason for that is, A, he is great off the dribble, so he can really drive to the rim. And he's a great three-point shooter too, obviously. So guys really have to close out on him. And he's also got that sound step-back move down. So when he tries to drive to the rim, you have to put pressure on him. Then when he steps back, you have to put pressure on him too. And he catches guys lunging a lot. And that's going to lead to 3 free throws a lot, very often, or even a 4-point play like we saw in that first quarter.
And not even that. I mean, the other thing that Rice has going for him, he's got by far the cleanest shoes game on the floor right now. I mean, those are some nice shoes that he's got on right now.
Yeah, that's really clean color combo. Almost looks like they're shimmering out there.
Indeed. I mean, I would wear those. I would rock those to a party if I had the opportunity.
I don't know if I'd wear basketball shoes to a party, but I get what you're saying.
Maybe you could wear Jordans to a party. I mean, Jordans are basketball shoes. As Brown kind of faked where he was going to go. He gets it to Horton. Horton mid-range. That one rolls in. RKE back in front by 1.
Yeah, luckily for RKE there, the referees missed a carry on Sidney Brown, which eventually led to an Ithiel Horton bucket.
As that one, Barnes tried to go up. He was denied. Collins picks up his 3rd block of the game, and then they get a whistle.
It looks like they're going to get a technical. I can't really tell who it's on. Looks like they might be on Elijah Barnes. He didn't like the fact that he didn't get the whistle on that last drive. I guess
You're
he
right.
just let out his frustration a little bit too much. He owned up to it, just trying to get all of his frustrations out. But especially in a tough game like this in the playoffs, close game, you can't afford to be giving your opponent extra opportunities like that.
And while that point may have hurt, it actually might have helped Seaview, because Seaview had a 5-on-4 break.
They did, and Jack Collins was rising up just as the whistle blew from 3. So, no, I think you'll take that trade-off based on how well Collins has been shooting the ball tonight.
Here's Horton with it. Finds Collins. He'll launch on a 3. That one off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Roy Mabry. Seaview and RKE, the 4 and the 1 seeds, matching up. Winner gets the right to play Stearns Trailer tomorrow night at 7:30. Collins. I mean, that's Rice who tries a 3, and that one off the mark, no good. Sumbry commands the board. Brown lobbing it in. Sumbry on the right hand lays it in off the glass.
A really good feed off the roll to Sumbry, and Sidney Brown has such quick hands. He averaged 6 steals a game. We haven't really seen that so far in this game, but we've seen it on offense.
As Robinson falling away was fouled. And that note on Brown you bring up, Brown was in the top 10 all time in steals for a single season.
I mean, Sidney Brown has had a tremendous year on both sides of the ball, obviously, with leading the league in steals and then shooting at a very efficient clip from downtown, and that's why we like to call him Downtown Sidney Brown.
You made it famous.
It just flows so well.
It does.
It really does.
I can't take all the credit. Nick Davidson actually helped me come up with that on the bench. We were talking in between games once last year when I was doing PA, and he was like, and he said Downtown Sidney Brown, and I was like, oh my God, that's really good. I'm using that on the mic. So you got to give Nick Davidson the credit where it's due.
It's a copycat business, isn't it?
It really is.
As Robinson cuts the lead to 3 on the free throw. One more for J-Rob at the line, and that one goes.
We've been talking about comparisons a lot. I think I found the perfect one for Justin Robinson. I think we were talking about this player off the air. I think playmaking-wise, he's kind of like Marquise Noel. And then with his jumper, as he just knocks it down there, I think he's kind of like Jimmer Fredette.
I don't know if you wanted to compare someone to Jimmer Fredette right now, considering how bad the 3-on-3 Olympics went, but I like the way you think.
I meant college Jimmer Fredette when he was knocking down everything off the dribble and was just – it's crazy how Justin Robinson can do what he does, and especially at his size.
I mean, it's unbelievable. He was so good at Monmouth. Oh, look at that pass to Mahoney, who lays it in with the right hand. I mean, you're right. Marquise Noel is like, it's insane. As Brown's going to launch on a three. That one. Say it.
Downtown Sidney Brown.
And he extends the lead to 3. Robinson. Nice feed. Mahoney is going to go up with the right. And the mid-range floater goes.
Might have gotten away with a travel there. Dan Singleton appears to believe that as well. But good job to take advantage of it.
Bad turnover there for RK, and it'll go back to Seaview. Well, I mean, it's 47-46, and we're not even halfway through quarter number 2.
I mean, this feels like a championship game, even though the championship's not until tomorrow night, and these two teams are playing for a spot in it. Just the intensity and the proficiency on offense as another shot off the dribble from J-Rob, and on defense, just it feels like a championship game right now.
And this isn't even Seaview's Death Star lineup, as Brown dribbles, stolen by Rice. Here's Robinson. He's got Collins to beat. Robinson feeds Mabry. He'll try a long 2. No, that's a 3, and he connects. Seaview up by 4. Collins, Brown, drives, feeds Shaq Scott, and his first shot of the night goes.
Really nice
I like
job.
being unselfish, excuse me, Alec, but Sidney Brown had a wide open layup there and chose to lay it off. Sometimes you got to make sure you're not a little too unselfish and taking the shot if you have it.
As Robinson lays it in, here's Brown going up with the left and getting the roll.
Well, that time he took it himself, and that was an even harder shot with Mabry on top of him. And really great finish by Sidney Brown. He can really get to the rim in a multitude of ways and just flipped it up.
Here's Rice. He'll try a triple, and he couldn't hit there. Almost was fouled again for the 3rd time tonight from downtown. Here's Brown. Stops, feeds, Sumbry a 3. That one off the mark, no good. O'Garo controls the rebound.
A.J. Sumbry has really been struggling from beyond the arc. Got to be more selective and smarter with his shot selection.
As that's going to be a foul on Scott. Sumbry had the block, and that'll send us to a media and Mahoney to the line when we get back. JSBL action semifinals. We'll be right back. Welcome back, JSBL. Danny Zersky alongside David Smith and Alec Krauthamel. Robinson swings it. Barnes will step into a three and hit. Elijah Barnes connects on a three, and it's a 5-point game.
And we haven't seen him a ton so far in the scoring column, but a nice job just spotting up from three, getting the kick out and draining it.
Here's a swing. Davidson's going to try a triple, and he couldn't answer. Collins, the rebound over Robinson. He goes back up off the glass and lays it in. I mean, he just continues to make winning play after winning play.
You're going to say his name, a lot in every game he plays because he always fills up the stat sheet. He does everything well on the floor.
As Barnes from the other side hits on a three. Back-to-back threes for Barnes, and it's 59-53. Collins stepping into one and connecting.
He's feeling it right now.
Collins cuts it to three. I mean, he knows how to play a big game in this gym. And a steal. Horton dove to the floor for it. Good pass from Collins to Brown. Brown, a three. Say it.
Downtown Sidney Brown.
And we're tied at 59.
I think you might be underselling that pass from Jack Collins. Picked it up while running and flung a behind-the-back pass to Sidney Brown, who caught it in stride and rose up from three. That is an excellent transition possession for RKE.
Definitely, and as Tony Romo would say, it was a little Mahomey.
Crickets, but I don't mind it. It was pretty good.
I mean, I'll stop with my analogies, I guess.
No, I didn't mind it.
I don't know if Mahomes has ever thrown a behind-the-back pass, but it certainly looked like it with the velocity on that ball.
As Rice denied, but a foul. So he'll go to the line for a pair. I mean, we're 7 minutes in, and that's only RKE's first team foul.
Yeah, they play such great defense, and without fouling, too, like you said. They just are able to get in the passing lanes and really stymie things. They don't allow a ton of action at the rim. They're just able to pack it in towards the rim and really have to let everyone else go outside of that. And it's been a big reason why CBU hasn't been to the free throw line a ton so far, as it looks like Cardacci will check back in after a break for him.
And Brown will check out.
And I think another reason why, we were talking about this earlier, is Xander Royce is able to draw so many fouls from the three-point line as well. It's his form as well. He gets a release, and then he jumps forward. He doesn't really jump up with his shot. He jumps forward, and that's how so many guys are able to crash into him, and that's how he draws so many fouls.
Was one of the 7 best scorers in the NCAA this year for a lot of the season. He was great at the free throws, had great moments, as Davidson will try a three, and hit, and one! That's the third time tonight we've had an and one on a three.
And that's just a bit of a bailout for Davidson. If you're Max Mahoney, you can't lunge at Davidson like that. He's a solid three-point shooter, but he takes the step back. He's falling away. I mean, it's not a great shot, but if you're Mahoney, you can't really lunge at him trying to contest. And, I mean, that's a great shot by Davidson regardless, but not one that you should be lunging at.
As he converts the 4-point play. We said it earlier, it's been the year of the 4-point play and the wedgie in the JSBL, and it continues to stand true. As it's 63-61, 2:40 to play in the second quarter. Here's Mahoney. Driving, going up with a hook and getting it to go in. Mahoney ties it at 63.
It's a really fundamentally sound move there by Max Mahoney. And that's one thing that we know he brings. He's a very talented player. Not the most athletic, not the most agile, but he really knows how to play the game, and is real fundamentally sound on both ends of the court.
Mabry missed on a three. Here's Horton. Collins thought about the three. He's going to drive, kick it to the corner. Cardacci will take a two. No, he's going to feed. Tried to feed Sumbry, and Seaview comes away with the steal. Under 2 to play in the half. Collins. Here's Rice, who drives and lays it in. Xander Rice gives Seaview the lead right back. Cardacci tried to get creative with the feed, and the ball on the ground, and Seaview's going to come away with the steal.
Yeah, it's 2 times in a row now where not exactly on the same page are Cardacci and Sumbry, and it's led to 2 turnovers.
Robinson goes up with it, missing on the shot. Cardacci gets the rebound. 90 seconds in half number 1. Collins, open look for 3. That one off the mark, no good. And they'll take a timeout to correct a wet spot on the floor.
Feels like we've seen more of those tonight, and it's getting warm in here.
It is.
I think a lot of that is due to the fact that this gym is absolutely packed. And you love to see that for playoff time, but you don't love to see it for the conditions in here.
Well, not even that. It's been packed in here at times, and I think part of the issue, storms have hit all over New Jersey over the past few days, and there's been power outages all over the place, lightning hitting, and I think that has to play a part in it as well.
Well, there's a pretty bad storm yesterday, and we thought that the temperatures might drop, and it was only worse today. There should be more coming in this week, and hopefully that'll drop the temperature a little bit.
They call them the dog days of August for a reason, and we're in them right now. Robinson feeds. Barnes has hit a couple from that corner, and he couldn't hit there. Rebounded by Sunbury. 1:05 to play. Here's a feed. Collins on the drive, going up with the right hand, missing the shot. He gets his rebound. Feeds to the corner. Cardesi with 10 to shoot. He'll try a three over Robinson, and that one over the hoop, no good. Here comes Robinson. He's got Rice with him, and Robinson's going to get fouled. The first and the last two for Seaview.
And Sunbury really no choice but to foul there. It looked like Sunbury and Collins were a little bit slow on the switch. And Robinson used his burst, as he always does, to split that double team. And Sunbury had to wrap around and grab him before he could put up 2 more points.
So J-Rob to the line. He had 11 in the first. Continuing to add to that total in the second. This might be the best half of basketball we've gotten all year.
Real high scoring. Both these teams really putting on an offensive clinic.
And it's team offense as well that you enjoy to see. Individuals doing great things, but teams working together. Brown comes off the screen, feeds Davidson. Davidson, the feed to Sunbury. They get it out to Cardesi. Oh, what a feed to the corner. Brown will try a triple, and that one no good. Davidson, the rebound, and the putback doesn't go the first time. The second time it does. Davidson relentless on the glass, and he's cut the lead to 2.
And that's where you really miss Demir and Brady, as we know that they're 2 of the best rebounding bigs in this league. And with Mahoney on the bench as well, there should be plenty of second chance opportunities.
As Mabry at the buzzer. What a half. Seaview takes a 5-point lead in the half number 3, or in the half number 2, quarter number 3. And wow, Roy Mabry, I thought that was J-Rob's possession the whole way through.
Yeah, that really shows the connectiveness of the Seaview team. Mabry was in exactly the right spot, and then as electric of a scorer as Justin Robinson is, he's always willing to make the big pass to find his teammate, and that is a huge shot by Roy Mabry to go into this half up 2 possessions instead of 1.
Seaview, and we'll stay around for the halftime show. As RKE, you score 65 points in the half, and you play good defense, but that's how good Seaview's offense is when both Xander Rice and Justin Robinson are clicking on all cylinders.
And arguably, Mahoney might be the best offensively of the 3 of Brady and Demir. So even though their presence is definitely missed defensively and on the glass, I think having Mahoney on the pick and roll for Robinson has been a real weapon, as we've seen that Mahoney has played pretty well, giving them 11. And then Roy Mabry's also given them a spark off the bench as well, adding 10.
And that's big for Mabry because this is a guy who's one of the best 55 players in the history of the league. Mahoney, you mentioned good off the bench with 11, and Mahoney actually started. And then if you look at RKE's side, I mean, they shot the 3 incredibly well in that first half. And still, you're down by 5.
But one thing that really jumps out to me, we knew with the absence of Brady and Demir that they were really going to have to pick it up on the glass. There's not one person on here with over 6 rebounds. I mean, Barnes leads with 5, and then you have 2 with 3, 1 with 4, and 1 with 2. So you have them doing a very good job of boxing out as a unit and doing a good job of crashing the boards as a team.
And for RKE, I think having a guy like Nick Davidson on the floor is such a huge positive as well, because he's just another one of those connective pieces that every team needs, where he's solid in really all aspects of the game. He's a good rebounder. He's good on the low block. and he's also a really good shooter, as he showed in that first half as well. Just having him on the floor to supplement A.J. Sumbry, who's more of just a mainly low-post guy who can really get at it at the rim, having him as another big that can really space the floor, it's been huge for them so far, and he's just so composed in some of those big moments as well.
I mean, you look at both of these teams, and really, I think the most impressive half from RKE, and you're going to talk about Robinson and Rice, great, Mahoney, great as well. But we need to talk about how good Jack Collins was in that first half.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, Jack Collins, 15 to lead any of RKE's scores, and we know that they have a lot of them. Cardacy, Brown, Horton. So Collins definitely providing a boost, and definitely the reason why they are still in this game, because Seaview, I mean, they're shooting 25 of 43 from the field and 8 from 17 beyond the arc, almost 50%. So that's not a recipe for RKE to succeed. So the fact that RKE was able to stay in this game is huge, and that was a lot of because of Jack Collins.
11 lead changes in that first half. Jack Collins played great. We've seen all the stars coming out tonight. Stick around for half number 2. The winner plays Stearns in the finals tomorrow night. Welcome back to the start of the second half. If it's as good as the first, we're in for a treat. Dan Yuzerski alongside Alec Krauthamel and David Smith as Seaview with the ball and the lead to start half number 2. And without Chris Brady and without Allahan Demir, you have to be happy if you're a fan of the red and the black.
Absolutely. It's been a true team effort, and it's been a perimeter-oriented effort, too. Mahoney and O'Garo and Barnes, the main bigs, have played really solid so far, but J-Rob and Xander Rice have been the stars so far, and I'm sure it'll continue as this game goes on.
Here's Mahoney laying it up, and no good, but an instant foul, 9:47 to play in quarter number 3, and he'll go to the line for 2.
And it really goes to show the depth of Seaview's front court, given that their 2 best front court options aren't here. And Mahoney, O'Garo, and Barnes have really stepped up and looked the part. So it just goes to show that going forward, if they somehow do advance to the championship, that it's really well, because if one of them gets into a foul trouble, they know they have depth in that part.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. It's not as big of a noticeable difference. We said WCT had the front court advantage going into the earlier game tonight. Well, you guys didn't say it. I said it. I'll take the ownage for that. And it didn't happen. If Seaview has both of those guys tomorrow night, as Cardacy high off the glass and lays it in, that Seaview definitely has a front court advantage tomorrow against Stearns if they have both of their big guys.
We'll see if the Frink brothers come, but I would definitely agree that Seaview would have the front court advantage. And it's also hard to argue, too, that anyone has a backcourt advantage over Seaview
No.
when they have Justin Robinson and Xander Rice.
And the way those two have been playing, especially over the past few weeks of the year. As there's a whistle on either Rice or Mahoney as Brown was driving. It'll be Rice.
And that was a really great split. Even before the foul, Brown so quick off the dribble, just split the two defenders and would have gotten an easy layup.
Sunbury sets the screen. Brown traveled, so they turn it over.
And not sure if you guys saw, but Xander Rice made sure to raise his hand to make sure that he got the foul because it's Max Mahoney who has 3 right now. And if he picks up a 4th, that is huge, given that he has been their best front court option.
As Robinson fouled on the drive. And well, they were letting him play a little bit more in the first, some more heavy whistles to start the second.
And we saw that last game too. We'll see if it continues like this, but the whistle has definitely tightened up throughout these playoffs as these games have gone on.
And another point to your comment about Rice, David, and Robinson hits the first free throw. That's a winning play, and that's what a leader of a team does. And Rice did such a great job leading Monmouth in his 5th year and really helped some of the younger guys take a step. Was in the building earlier to watch Abdi Bashir play for WCT. That's what he is, and took on that role right away out of the gate as a leader, as Sunbury almost got it in on the first time. Contact, missing on the second. He's got it back here, goes up off the glass. Was a little too high, but he was fouled, so he's got 2 at the line.
And even with the exit of Xander Rice this year due to no more eligibility, I think in this league we've seen that Monmouth has more than enough talent to compete next year in the CAA. It's just a matter of putting all the pieces together and making sure the liabilities of each player are canceled out by other players' strength. So obviously with Bashir, with his defense, you need Jack Collins on the court because you know that Jack Collins can pick up the slack. But hopefully they can mesh together because we know the CAA is wide open, as every single player from the CAA All-First team last year is gone this year. So a lot of new faces in the CAA and a lot of new people that are going to have to step up.
You're right, as Charleston lost a lot as Robinson couldn't hit on the 3. They lost their coach as well, Pat Kelsey, as Horton rises and hits on a 3. Ethiel Horton's been good tonight. He's got 15, and he's cut the lead to 2.
And you got to step up in transition on Horton. He can rise up and pull up, and that's exactly what he did there.
Such a good form as well.
I feel like Horton has a very quiet 15, and I think that's because he's been so efficient.
As Brown, say it,
I'll let you do the honors this time.
downtown Sidney Brown gives RKE the lead back. As Rice going up and getting it to roll. And back in front goes Seaview.
That's a really impressive step-through move by Rice. He gets stonewalled by Horton. Sunbury's there as well, but he just turns around and keeps the pivot foot down and lays it up and got some space, too.
Here's Cardacy. Feeds Sidney Brown. Brown's going to rise on a 2, and that one doesn't go. Fight for the rebound, saved by Sunbury, but unfortunately Xander Rice right there for Seaview. Rice rises on a 3, and that one off the mark, no good. Collins controls the rebound. Horton driving, going up with the right, and 1. How about that drive from Ethiel Horton, giving RKE the lead back.
And great body control there to keep O'Garo on his backside and then eventually draw the contact when he went up for the layup.
You're right, and that's something I think I've been so impressed about how good Horton is, not only athletically, because he really is a great athlete, but the fundamentals that Ethiel Horton possesses are just so impressive, as he couldn't hit on the free throw.
If you're playing in the Big 12, you know you're going to be a fundamentally sound player, no matter how talented you are. It takes a lot in order to compete at that high of a level.
As that assist from Justin Robinson and the finish from Mabry was just absurd. Horton, step back triple, rises and fires, couldn't hit. Rice commands the rebound. Here he comes down the lane going coast to coast, couldn't lay it in. Collins might have gotten a piece of it. Collins, good feed to Sunbury, who is going to get called for offensive interference.
Yeah, Sunbury's been solid on the defensive end, but his offensive game just hasn't really been there so far tonight. Had an easy opportunity there off a great feed from Collins, found him in stride. But he couldn't get that one to go. That's a tough miss, especially in a close game.
So it'll go back to Seaview, up by 1. 6:30 to play in quarter number 3. Robinson feeds Barnes. He's hit a few open threes, and he's got another. Elijah Barnes, another 3, and he extends it to 4. Cardesi feeds. Sumbry's going to rise and fire on a 2, and that one off the mark, no good. I don't know about that shot selection in that possession there. And then Rice gives it right back.
Yeah, just a bit of a mental lapse there for Rice. He picked up his dribble, was trying to pass, but nobody was looking, and dropped that extra foot. And again, a big turnover there as RKE will get another chance at it.
Down by 4. Brown feeds Cardesi. Cardesi cutting in and was stripped of the ball by Robinson. 81-77 in the third quarter. We're not even halfway through. Both offenses having their way tonight.
Yeah, this is the dictionary definition of a barn burner.
It's like the Yankee Red Sox games as RKE gives it right back. Little 2000s Yankee Red Sox game action between these two teams.
Yeah, they're just throwing haymakers at each other on the offensive end like the Yankees and Red Sox would sometimes do with their fists when games would get intense, but this time they're doing it at the basket.
As another turnover, Collins picks up the steal, rises on a 3, and couldn't connect. Left it a little bit short, had the right arc, but not the right strength, as here comes Robinson. Feeds Barnes, another corner 3. That one off the mark, no good. O'Garo soaring for that rebound. And then a foul.
And I think that's O'Garo's greatest attribute right there is his bounce. Allows him to come in flying, like you said, for rebounds. And it gives him such an advantage over other players.
It feels like we say multiple times a game just how impressive he is, because he not only has the bounce to go up and get those rebounds, but he has the tenacity to do it every possession as well.
What do you think the over-under on his vertical jump is?
I would say at least 30, 35.
As Rice couldn't hit. David?
I think that's a good range.
I'm going to go 38.5. As Collins
That's crazy.
feeds a 3 for Davidson. Would you call that preposterous?
I'd say maybe so.
As Barnes slams it in.
I don't even know if my 2K My Player has a 38.5-foot vertical.
Collins on a 3. That one off the mark, no good. Davidson going up with it. That one no good. Mabry the rebound, and Seaview starting to put together a little bit of a run and extending the lead. Robinson, Rice, 3. That one no good. O'Garo the rebound, and then they'll call a loose ball foul on the putback attempt. Actually, that's going to be a 2-shot foul.
And again, we talked about it last possession. We're going to talk about it this possession again. The tenacity of O'Garo soars high in the air to get that offensive rebound and get himself 2 shots.
Liam has entered the gym. We'll talk about him when we get back. It's 83-77, Seaview Jeep. Welcome back. We're back in the increasingly hot Manasquan gym as Dan Yuzerski, David Smith, and Alec Krauthamel. We're here to bring you coverage tonight and tomorrow of the final 2 games of the JSBL season. Hopefully the air conditioning's on tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, it's cooking in here for sure.
I think it's a big reason why we've needed so many cleanups on the floor, too, with the mop.
As O'Gara, who's got 2 at the line, misses his first. He's got 1 more.
I said this off the air during one of the timeouts at halftime, but I think it's really funny that Dan and I often go into meteorological, I don't know if that was a word, tangents every few games or so. I think it's like 3 or 4 times now.
We got to get Eddie to invest in a Doppler radar for us. That would be nice to add to the broadcast. As Brown thought about the 3, gets a screen from Scott, feeds Jack Scott. Scott is going to go up and in with the layup and cut the lead to 5.
Really nice power dribble to get O'Gara, who is not exactly in the best position, down low to the rim, and that's an easy jump hook off the dribble.
And a great job there by Scott to seal that defender, knowing he wasn't in the greatest spot in order to lay it in for 2.
Mabry going up with the 3. He's feeling it, but couldn't hit there. Here comes Brown. The long rebound came out to him. He lost the dribble for a second. Feeds Cardacey in the corner, a 3. That one off the mark, no good. Great positioning by Scott, who couldn't put it back in.
We haven't said Cardacey's name a lot in this second half. He's been very quiet.
As Mabry, shot fake, takes a 2 and connects. Roy Mabry, vintage tonight, and the lead's up to 7.
And a great behind-the-back pass to set him up as well, right on the money. Great job on the pump fake, too, to just draw the defender in, and that's an easy mid-range.
Sidney Brown. He's going to try a long one, and that one no good. Rebound by Scott. I don't know if they're going to give that on Scott or they'll give it on O'Gara.
I think they're going to call it on O'Gara.
Yeah.
He was off position there, so really had no choice but to grab and foul.
That's O'Gara's 3rd.
Just try to reset the possession.
So Mahoney and O'Gara both in a little bit of trouble here as we inbound it with 3:29 to play in the 3rd.
It's huge, though, that it is NBA rules and that it's 6 instead of 5, or like you said, they'd be in some serious trouble.
As Collins goes off the glass. How do you guys feel about that rule? Do you prefer the 5 or the 6?
I mean,
I prefer 5 because I think it creates more strategy. Knowing that there's 6 fouls, it allows you to play your stars more. But like in college, if your star gets into foul trouble, it creates a lot more strategy from the coach.
I agree.
I kind of like 6 just because of, like you said, we want to see guys on the floor more.
As Brown rises, fires, and hits on a 3. You could say it this time.
And I'll leave it for you, but that's also why I'm a big proponent of no DH in the National League, because I think it creates more strategy for managers. And seeing Bartolo Colon hit a home run every once in a while is just iconic.
You mean the greatest home run in history
Exactly.
as Cardacey lays it in.
That goes Upton?
I mean, think about it. James Shields had a great MLB career, and that's what he'll be remembered for. Giving up a home run to Big Sexy. As Seaview Jeep calls timeout.
I think this is a good timeout by head coach Tyler Schmelz. They're still in the lead, and they're still playing well, but they just want to refocus his guys as RKE is beginning to claw their way back into this game. Just reset his guys, get their focus back in the right position, and really try to go out of this third quarter strong. I think the adage in basketball always should be go out and into the quarter strong, because that can really set you up to push the momentum your way.
Well, and we're going to bring up a football reference. You talk about the middle 10 being so important. The middle 5 in basketball games equally important as well.
Absolutely, and yeah, that's a football thing too. I believe how I learned it was the middle 8, where it's the last 4 minutes, but basically the same thing, the last 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes of a half. It's just so important because those momentum swings can really change games. If you go out of a quarter strong and get yourselves a 7 or 8 point lead, it's so much different than a 3 or 4 point lead, just because you have that mindset of we're in a really good spot right now, we have to keep our foot on the gas pedal, and you're already at an arm's length away instead of a 3 or 4 point game where it's anybody's game.
You couldn't be perfectly said by you, and you're right, the timeout by Tyler Schmelz is very good, and we'll see how Seaview reacts to it up by 2. Mahoney to inbound. Here's Robinson. Off the inbound. Has Brown. Robinson with Collins on him. He tries a long 3 and connects. J-Rob from downtown, and it's a 5-point game. Brown approaching 2 minutes to play. Brown, he'll try a mid-range and connect.
It seems as if RKE has almost changed their strategy a little bit. What they typically like to do is off-ball screens and cutting. Now it's typically with Sidney Brown giving him a high ball screen and letting him facilitate from there.
As he picks up foul number 5 for RKE in the quarter, so Robinson will go to the line. So second on Brown. Robinson to the line for 2. If Robinson wins it, it would be his 4th title. And more of a legacy title than anything else. I don't know if a lot of people thought Seaview had a chance to compete when you saw the names that the teams had thrown out in the beginning of the year, and here they are.
I mean, you still can never count them out, though. I mean,
No.
talent-wise, they're so special top to bottom when everybody shows up. I mean, Stearns, it was very obvious they would have won if everybody showed up, but almost 3/4 of that roster didn't even end up coming to one game.
No. As Sunbury makes the basket, and it's 93-90. Robinson rising and firing, and couldn't hit. Mahoney feeds Mabry. He'll step back and connect on a long 2. Roy Mabry extends the lead to 5, and Seaview kind of keeping it at this length.
Fitting that he gets the benefit of scoring on that possession. He made that happen with the hustle play on the offensive boards. Came out of nowhere. Nobody boxed him out and just grabbed the rebound and kept the possession alive.
He's looked vintage tonight, and you talk about, we've seen him last year, me and David, and even this year, he hasn't really looked the same since that foot injury he suffered, and this is the best I think I've seen him in 2 years.
Yeah, foot injuries are always tough to deal with because they can feel really good one day and then they can go right back to, not feeling the same on the next day. But it feels like he's feeling good today.
And what we talked about pregame is that with the absence of Brady and Demir, more people were going to have to step up for Seaview, and that's been Mahoney and Mabry, both of which have been tremendous.
And even Barnes, who's hit those threes as Robinson drives, kicks out Mabry. Barnes has it up top. He's going to kick out. He threw it to Collins, who comes away with the steal, and then Mabry fouls Jack, sending him to the line for a care.
Looks like Elijah Barnes is a little slow to get up after that one. Looks like it might just be a cramp.
It's hot in this gym. I'm sure there's going to be some talks to turn the air conditioning back on tomorrow night.
I would hope so.
Not sure what happened to Barnes. Didn't see what happened on the other end.
Yeah, he got caught in midair when he threw it away. Couldn't tell what happened on the landing.
Hopefully it's not his head, as that's what he's holding.
That's a dangerous thing, too. We'll take a quick timeout, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to JSPL action. Dan Yazerski, David Smith, and Alec Krauthamel. And our hopes, our prayers, and condolences out to Elijah Barnes, who had to be helped off to the sideline by teammates and hasn't been able to put any pressure on that leg, and is over on the trainer's table right now hoping he's okay.
Yeah, you got to hope that Barnes is okay. Safety is obviously the number one thing in this. This is a summer league, pro-am. All these guys have, whether playing overseas in college, whatever they have going on is more important, and this is just to kind of make them better. So it stinks when you see injury, but it's just a part of sports sometimes. But not to mention, like we said, it was already a depleted front court for Seaview. Barnes was the only one not in foul trouble, so now O'Garo and Mahoney might have to go the rest of the way playing with 3 fouls each.
We haven't seen any Kevin Tellisford yet for Seaview Jeep. Have to imagine he'll get some run in this fourth quarter coming up.
Just a brutal blow to a team that's trying to go back to a finals, and hopefully Barnes is okay.
And would have to imagine with him unable to put any pressure on that leg that if they do win, it's very unlikely we'll see him tomorrow.
As Mahoney lays it in after the Collins pair of free throws. Cardacy to tie. That one doesn't fall. 97-94. Seaview can hold for the final shot. They already have one buzzer beater tonight. As we approach under 10 seconds. When does J-Rob want to go? He's going to start now. 6. Feeds Rice. Rice can hit a buzzer beater. Rice denied. Can Brown get it off? He cannot. And it wouldn't have counted anyway. As we end an exciting 3 quarters of basketball. Final spot in the JSPL championship game. Up for grabs. It's a 3-point game as we head to quarter number 4. Fourth quarter, final 10 minutes of game number 2. Winner plays Stearns in the championship game. Dan Yazerski alongside David Smith and Alec Krauthamel. And for David, I'll ask you, what does Seaview Jeep need to do in this fourth quarter to get Stearns tomorrow night?
I mean, I think they need to do more of the same. Play through J-Rob and Xander. Wow, this gym is loud. I think everybody on both teams was calling timeout, but I think they need to play through Robinson and Rice. The high pick and roll has been working like a charm. Mahoney's been great as he does a great job of sealing the defender, and then Robinson is able to get the space he needs in order to either get the shot off or get it to Mahoney. And for RKE, I think it comes down just more of the same. Again, just team basketball, but where they really have to get it done is on the defensive end.
And I think a lot of, for RKE, it's going to come down to the guards of Kyle Cardacy and Sidney Brown. Sidney Brown leads RKE with 20. Cardacy has 13, but we haven't seen a ton of him, only 4 points in that third quarter. We haven't seen a ton of him lately, but as we know, all season long, he's shown up in those big moments. So if RKE wants to win this game, Kyle Cardacy is going to have to come alive, and it's going to be, once again, Sidney Brown alongside him on both ends of the floor.
And it feels like Cardesi, since the midseason, has kind of gone in a little bit of a funk. He can catch fire occasionally, but just hasn't been that same that we were seeing early on in the season.
Yeah, I think prime Kyle Cardesi was in that Royal Rumble run to the in-season tournament championship.
Here he is off a 3 to tie, and he missed a shot. Rice comes in and gets the rebound. And Mahoney had slipped on another wet spot on the floor. This is becoming a problem as Rice feeds Mahoney. Robinson. Justin falling away on the baseline. That one doesn't go. Brown the rebound. Here comes Sidney Brown. Feeds. Oh, nice pass inside to Sumbry, who lays it in.
That is a sweet sequence by Sidney Brown. Got Rice on the first hesitation and then was able to do another hezzy before laying it off for the easy bucket.
And then even much better dishing on the other side as O'Garo answers. I mean, Sidney Brown now with 7 assists tonight. He's been outstanding, and we know him as downtown Sidney Brown, but he's got pretty good passing instincts too.
Absolutely. I mean, earlier this season he had a triple-double with points, assists, and steals. You don't see that too often. He's just such a quick guard, and looks like we'll have another wet spot cleanup. Yeah, I mean, it's like almost every other possession now we're having some more wet spots to clean up. It's heating up in here from a basketball standpoint and from a feel standpoint.
It might be too hot to handle for these players. That's another Crickets one, isn't it?
Well, I know the show you're talking about. I've just never watched it.
What show?
Too hot to handle?
It's one.
Yeah, I didn't get it. That's why I didn't.
I think it's. Have you watched it, Dan? I think it's one of those shows.
It's like Love Island.
Yeah, they put everyone on an island and they say, "All right, you guys."
Love Island is. I'm a big fan of Love Island.
Start
dating
each
too hot
other.
to handle too.
Yeah, start dating each other or something. I don't know.
It's a Netflix vehicle. Here's Horton. He'll fire in on a 3, and that one halfway down and out. And then a loose ball foul is going to go against Mabry, and he is in disbelief.
Yeah, him and Sumbry got tangled up, and it looked like either one of them could have gotten the whistle. And it looks like, it looks like they are going to get Sumbry, actually. Yeah, like I said, they could have gotten either one of them, but it looks like the bigger man Sumbry is going to get the foul call.
That's what ends up happening. Here's Robinson rising on a 3. That one off the mark. Cortese with the ups for the rebound. He spins. He's going to float one up off the rim, no good. Sumbry the rebound. Sumbry turning off the glass. That one doesn't fall. Mahoney grabbing the rebound. He's got Robinson. J-Rob, nice feed, but that one stolen away by Sumbry. Brown. Robinson pickpockets him. Here he comes. Has Mabry as the trailer. He'll go up with it and in, and it's a 5-point game.
Yeah, really nice job once again by Robinson. Quick hands, steals it away, and then the passing. Finds Mabry on another behind-the-back pass, and they left him open for the mid-range.
Cardesi, step back on a 3. That one goes. There's vintage Cardesi, and he cuts the lead to 2.
Honestly, I like to think sometimes that he's almost more effective when he's moving on a three-point attempt than when he's standing still. Just such a great move off the dribble.
Yeah, the higher the degree of difficulty, the better off he is.
As O'Garo over the net with it. Long pass from Sumbry to Brown. Brown has it, feeds Cardesi in the corner. Cardesi lines up a 3, and he couldn't hit. Fight for the rebound. Horton controls. No, Rice gets it.
And like we talked about, the easiest shot he's had all night.
And then Rice is fouled. You're right. I mean, perfectly open, had no one near him, and couldn't rise and fire on a hit of 3.
I'm sure Cardesi kicking himself for that one. Has played at Bryant, Coppin State, and then finished his career at St. Peter's. Feels like he's had one of those tough games. These past few games, his efficiency has definitely dipped. But still able to hit the big shot like we saw off the dribble on the previous possession before that last one.
I wonder how much harder it is to shoot in the condition of the gym the way it is, because everyone's sweating, so your hands are naturally going to sweat. How much harder it is to grip the basketball.
I think that's definitely part of it, as Rice's free throw is good. I think that's part of it, but also your fatigue also increases when you're having to exert more energy in the warmer gym as well. I think that plays a little bit of a part into it too. But I feel like Cardacy, the mental side, when he gets these open threes, just a little bit short. But, I mean, it feels like some of those more difficult shots, it's more so you're not thinking about it. When you're getting those moving threes, you're just going up with the shot, not thinking about going right into your motion. When he gets these open threes, you got to think about it.
Indeed, as Collins tried to put the dribble moves on Mabry. He drives, goes up with the left, and denied by Roy Mabry, and it'll stay with stay with RKE. Man, I've been so impressed with Roy Mabry tonight.
Yeah, he's had a great game, and exactly that spark plug they needed off the bench.
Here's Brown, nice feed to Davidson, extra pass. Horton, dribble from the corner, and connects.
Horton has been so efficient tonight, hasn't hunted his shot, has done a really good job of shooting it within motion of the offense, and he's been extremely efficient and been a big reason as to why RKE has been able to stay in this game even when Seaview's been red hot offensively.
But as Mahoney lays it in, but not even that, as the lead now back to 3. The extra pass there from Davidson to find his teammate in the corner. Classic RKE basketball. Horton with it now. Gets a screen from Davidson. Davidson thought about the 3, drives, goes up with the left off the glass, and one! And that's on Mahoney.
And you saw Davidson feeling himself after that one, given the flex after the N1 opportunity, just moves right past him. And we talked about earlier how solid of a big man Davidson is. Another one of these guys that can just play inside out. Great job off the dribble, just getting past Mahoney. And he put that up with the left hand and got the bump as well.
And Mahoney's argument, excuse me, Dan, was that he was probably the least qualified ref to make that call. There were 2 better angles, and he made it from almost close to half court, and Mahoney couldn't believe it considering none of the other refs blew their whistle.
Yeah, but that also looms large because Mahoney's been in foul trouble, really it feels like the whole game. And without Elijah Barnes now, who's still over at the trainer's table, though every increasing foul that Mahoney or O'Gara will pick up is going to loom even larger.
But they're going to need both of them down the stretch, so they're not going to take them out. They're going to play them the rest of the way and have them in the game whenever they can.
And, again, I always like that decision where you got a guy in foul trouble and you're getting into the waning minutes of the game. I think what he can do on the floor right now is better than if you save him and get farther behind in the game.
But also have to know if you're RKE that you have to attack them knowing that they're going to be playing a little bit more passive.
As Mahoney missing the easy layup, but then a whistle as RKE drove down the other end of the floor.
Yeah, it looked like Robinson was just trying to go for a take foul there, just trying to stop the transition opportunity. I'm not sure what Robinson's arguing. But again, the playoff intensity is fully here. And in a one-point game, you can't let anything slip by.
So I also think none of these refs want to be the reason one of them blows the game for whichever team. So I think we're going to see them let them play down the stretch.
Davidson. He's going to take a mid-range, and Davidson couldn't hit. Collins coming in for the rebound. Finds Davidson up top. And then a foul. Offensive. Mahoney takes the charge. And the turnover for RKE.
Yeah, a bit of a tough break there for Davidson. He got the drive and was driving towards the hoop. It's a really close play, as those charge block calls always are. A really close play, but great job by Mahoney of just standing in and taking the contact. And that's a risky play, too. Like we've mentioned, very thin front court. That could have easily gone the other way and gotten him another foul. I think Dan Singleton's trying to argue on the bench that Mahoney flopped.
Dan Singleton is high-class entertainment.
Character, to say the least.
I think Ryan Reynolds should pick him for the next Deadpool movie, I'll be honest.
I think the mop's gotten so much work tonight that it might not even be effective anymore. Now it's covered in sweat from the floor.
I mean, Liam's back in the gym. Maybe Liam could work the mop. He was great at it last year. That's all I'll say.
Singleton and Davidson and Mahoney are all trying to debate that foul call. And the whistle's already been blown and the foul's already been committed. They're trying to egg him on to try to say that he flopped. I don't think I'll ever do that.
No, and even if he admits it, it's not like you're going to overturn it. Robinson tried to get it inside, and that one off the hand of RKE. Davidson, I think it went off of, so it will stay with Seaview. 5:32 left, and it's a 1-point game. And I don't want this game to end, but at the same time, it's so hot in the gym that it's a tough conundrum we're in right now. As Robinson looking for somewhere, he finds Mahoney. Nice feed. O'Garo up and in. Great passing again by Seaview Jeep. Cardacey mid-range. That one falls, rattling in, and Cardacey cuts it back to one.
And right now, excuse me, Alec, we have a look at the authentic Seaview Jeep roster that we saw last year. Because Brady didn't come too much last year. Demir wasn't on the team. This is the core 5 that we saw for the majority of the year for Seaview.
As Cardacey misses, but Brown laying it in. And RKE is in front with under 5 to play.
Great positioning. Collins or Brown were going to get the rebound anyways. Brown gets it and lays it right back in. Terrific job on the offensive glass.
Robinson up with the 3. That one doesn't fall. Fight for the rebound. Who's going to get it? And a whistle. That's going to be a 2-shot foul on RKE when we get back. Seaview, RKE down to the wire. RKE up by 1. Welcome back. JSBL action on the JSBL Hoops YouTube channel. We thank all of you who have tuned in the early game and the late one now as O'Garo knots it with the free throw. 36 of you have decided to spend your Monday night with us, and we couldn't have thanked you guys more. O'Garo, a chance to give Seaview the lead, which he does. So it's Seaview on top, 4:30 to play in this one.
Free throw is going to be big for both teams down the stretch. It's typically where games are won and lost.
Sumbry has it. Cardacey rising and firing on a 3. That one over the basket, but does go in. Oh, tough break for Cardacey.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that one hit the top. I think that one, it was close.
It really was. It's always a tough debate whether it actually hits the top or just, hits the piece below it, especially in a close game like this.
Robinson looking for somewhere to go with it. He'll try and rise on a 3. That one no good. Coming in for the rebound, Cardacey. Cardacey, mid-range. He couldn't get it. Fight for the rebound. Mabry controls. Mabry, Rice on a 3. That one is good.
Now, it looks like Mahoney's a little bit slow to get up.
I think he might have.
think he landed a little funny, but can't afford to lose Mahoney.
Looks like he's okay. Looked like he kind of slipped on a wet spot.
And it looks like Kevin Telesford's going to check in just as a precaution for the first time tonight.
Telesford or Harris have sat the entire game. So
that's huge. Now RKE really has to take advantage.
They do. Telesford's a big guard, but he's still a guard. And I mean, O'Garo is probably the biggest guy on the floor right now for CVU Jeep. And RKE, I mean, they got Sumbry down low that can really go at it on the low post.
Curious to see if they go to Davidson now and
go
for a bigger lineup. But a good timeout call here to potentially get Max healthy, give him some time to walk it off.
Absolutely.
I don't think head coach Tyler Schmelz was anywhere near comfortable with having Telesford play minutes at this stage of the game.
And yeah, that's a good point, Dave. I wonder if we'll see Davidson come into this game and have him next to Sumbry. But at the same time, I feel like the 5 guys on the floor right now have been very effective, and they are playing well together too, so you don't want to mess that up either. And Sumbry is played really well in all facets of the game except for putting the ball in the basket. That's where he's struggled the most, but he's done everything really well otherwise, whether it's rebounding or defense.
Indeed, and with 3:37 to go, this is down to the wire for both of these teams. And we'll see who comes out on top. 10-second station ID. Welcome back. Go ahead, call me out on it.
This is Jersey Shore Basketball League. Is that our legal ID? We don't have a legal ID.
We didn't have a legal ID, but I had to clear my throat, and I figured that was the best way to send it over.
That was a good way to do it. I mean, my bewildered face kind of threw everything off. But
it wasn't as bad as the one that Nick got you on the other night. He got you pretty good the other night. So 3:35 to play. Brown with the ball. Brown drives, goes up with the mid-range, and hits on it. 112-110. Cardacy pressing Robinson right off. This could be a shining moment in J-Rob's JSBL career. He finds Mabry. Back to J-Rob. He feeds Mabry in the corner. Takes the shot, puts one up and no good, but he's got 2 at the line on the foul by Cardacy.
Yeah, that's a veteran play right there by Mabry to draw the contact and then put the shot up for 2 shots. And going into that possession, very curious, even though they switched on Brown to Robinson, I'm curious to see that they had Cardacy on Robinson instead of Brown on Robinson to start the possession.
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth, one of those high IQ plays. And I believe Kyle Cardacy has 5 fouls now.
He does.
So that's a big development in this game, too. Another piece that RKE cannot afford to lose is Kyle Cardacy. Even though he hasn't had the most efficient game, he is their closer and gets the ball in these late-game scenarios.
They had to lean on Horton the other night as well as Davidson, as Mabry hits them both. Horton going to drive. That one denied by O'Gara, but they'll call a foul.
They're going to get O'Gara. I don't love that call. There was a lot of contact at the rim, but it looked like a lot of clean contact. It looked like O'Gara kept his verticality in the air. Even though he jumped at it, even if you jump up and keep your verticality, you don't always get whistled for the foul. I don't love that call on O'Gara. It looked like he did everything right, and the CVU Jeep defense also got a piece of it. Couldn't tell who, but O'Gara got the whistle, and now 2 free throws for Horton.
As IT to the line for 2, exactly 3 minutes to play. Hang on to the edge of your seat, folks, as Horton nails the first.
This is one of those games where you don't want anyone to lose because both teams have played so well, but someone has to in this instance.
I think a lot of us would be happy if this was the championship game.
I was just about to say it.
If tomorrow's game lives up to whatever is going on tonight, I think we're in for a great game, either way.
As Robinson with Brown on him. J-Rob. Is this his possession? It might be. He feeds Mabry, long 3. That one off the mark, no good. Cardacy the rebound. But they're going to get a loose ball foul. Who is it on? if it's on Cardesi, he's out.
Not on Cardesi. I think they got Sumbry.
Yeah, that one's on Sumbry, and couldn't really tell what happened on that play, but that is a huge foul in that moment because you got the stop after J-Rob tried to break down the defense and got a long three from Mabry. A good shot from Mabry, but not the best one considering how far he was behind the line. And you get the stop, and not even where the ball is, you get whistled for a foul. That's a critical play at this point.
And not even that to add insult to injury, it's 2 free throws as well, as Davidson will check in for Horton. And your question is answered, David. As O'Garo hits both of them, crucial free throw makes there. Here's Cardesi with the screen from Sumbry. He's going to go around him. Cardesi, a screen from Davidson. Cardesi going up and no good. And then takes a hard hit onto the bleachers. Let's see if he's okay.
Man, when you take a shot to the lower back like that, that's the end of the arm, it looks like. That's always going to sting for a little bit. Got to walk it off a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. That was a tough one.
And Cardesi also one of their biggest shot makers. You hate to see so many injuries in this game. Obviously, Mahoney, and then you also have Cardesi now, and then the first one, which was Barnes. So hopefully he's okay, but can't afford to lose Cardesi. Even though he's not having his greatest game shooting-wise, he's still one of their most clutch shooters and can always hit the big shot.
As he misses on the first. Looks like that hand is really, he's favoring it right now. As he needs to hit this one to cut it to a 1-possession game. Cardesi. Got it. 116-113. Justin Robinson, 2:20 away from heading back to another championship game. He finds Rice. Back to Robinson. Thought about the three. He's going to drive. Find Mabry. He's had the hot hand in the fourth. He finds Rice. With Brown. Rice drives. And that's got to be a shot clock violation. But no.
I thought they were going to call a charge. Cardesi stepped into position and hit the deck. I thought they were going to call a whistle on something, whether it was Cardesi for the charge or drawing the charge or on the block.
But, I mean, that's clearly zero as Brown rises and fires on the three. That one doesn't go. Davidson missing on the putback attempt.
Absolutely crazy that there was no whistle there on either the charge or the block.
I guess the argument is that Cardesi flopped, so no whistle.
But
it
even
looks like
then,
another wet spot.
I
I
mean,
would be surprised that they didn't call the block on him. It looked like he got into position and set the feet before Rice went into the air.
I'm going to check the tape on this.
That's a huge play anyways, because even without a whistle, you know, even with a whistle either way, that's either a turnover going the other way for RKE or it's 2 free throws for Xander Rice, which, granted, Rice is a fantastic free throw shooter, but it's not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. Instead, it's a easy layup for O'Garo.
He got it off.
It's definitely close, and the shot clock buzzer didn't go off either. It must have been at .3 or so. We don't have the decimal marks on our shot clocks in here. And looking back at the foul, it looks like Cardesi just barely got in at the right time. Again, those plays are so close, and I don't envy any officials that have to make those calls.
Tough call each way. Mabry gets it into Rice. 90 seconds to play in this fourth quarter. 118-113. Rice on Brown. Rice blocked by Sidney Brown. He gets it up, puts up a wild shot, no good. As the shot clock expires, it's going the other way. With 75 seconds to play.
That's the biggest stop, excuse me, Alec, of the game for RKE. Needed that, and don't necessarily need a three here. You need a bucket. You have to be smart and quick.
RKE finds himself in the same exact situation as they found themselves in on Thursday against intern helpers. And a foul, which will count as free throws.
It would have been free throws either way because RKE is now in the bonus, but once again, a big foul. Both teams in the bonus are going to be shooting free throws the rest of the way, and now Horton, who's been a tremendous addition tonight, just a largely efficient guy, has a chance to go to the line and make this back to a one-possession game.
We'd like to thank the rest of you who have now tuned in up to 46 viewers as Horton hits the first one.
I think that's the most we've had so far this season.
I think the most we had last year was 60, and that was for the championship game. So we'd like to thank you guys for joining us on a Monday night. I'm Dan Yuzerski alongside my partners Alec Kraft-Hamill and David Smith. And they throw the ball away on the inbound, and they're able to get it. But a timeout by Seaview Jeep, almost a disastrous situation, similar to what happened a couple nights ago.
Yeah, it's looking a lot like it, where they get the points and then almost cause a turnover immediately after on the inbound in the backcourt. But this time, good job by Tyler Schmelz to immediately call timeout before that possession went any more awry. That could have gone disastrously with a chance to tie the game.
What a game we've had. As we are now in the final minute of it. Justin Robinson trying to get to his another championship game where he could avenge and win his fourth championship, where a lot of people said that they were done going into the year. Everyone thought it was Stearns or Ortho that was going to make that, and Ortho didn't even make it out of the first round. And now you have RKE on the other side, who won the championship in the midseason tournament champs, went 10-1 this year, have had such an unbelievable season, and they're trying to fight for a chance at glory in the postseason as well.
Both teams just with great stories, and like you said, it really stinks to have to see one of these teams lose.
And now I have to play tomorrow. I mean, I'd take this game tomorrow if we had to call it again at any time of the week. Rice will check it in. Into Justin Robinson. J-Rob.
Can't foul here. Got to do everything in your power to get a stop without fouling.
7 seconds now for Robinson. 6. He's got 5. Here he goes. Robinson. Oh, what are they going to call? Nothing. He misses the shot. Here comes RKE with a chance to tie. Brown with 30 seconds to play.
And again, don't necessarily need a 3 here.
As he drives and lays it in. 27 seconds to go, and it's a 1-point game. They trap Robinson, trying to find somewhere to go. He gets it to Mabry. That one tipped. Rice almost threw it away. Here comes O'Garo. O'Garo fouled and one! What a huge bucket there for Tyrone O'Garo.
And a great job of running the floor for O'Garo, and a great press break as well. Robinson got caught in the corner, and everyone knew exactly where they needed to be. It got a little bit stressful at times, but I don't know about that call, especially on the continuation. I don't even know if it was a foul to begin with, but then you give him the continuation as well. That is a huge swing and a call in this game, and now a chance to put it to a 4-point game instead of 3. I thought there was minimal contact there.
I did too.
Considering the no calls that have gone against RKE, the fact that that's the call Seaview gets, pretty crazy.
And the fact that they gave him continuation as well. It looked like it was clearly before he went up in the shot motion. But that is a huge swing in this game, and if O'Garo makes this free throw, then RKE's got to go quickly.
Remember, they don't need a 3, but
they need a bucket. It looks like we're still cleaning up the wet spots on the floor.
O'Garo perfect today from the line. 2 for 2.
Late night here. Normally, I mean, this is 10:24. Usually I'm home by then.
Hey, we're usually out of here by 9:45, 9:50 at the latest. It's the playoffs. I mean, everything is drawn out because of the intensity in the environment here.
18.3 on the clock. Huge, maybe the biggest free throw of the night for O'Garo. It goes up, and it doesn't go in. And a timeout taken by Sean Gallagher.
And now the question is, do you take a 3? I think you don't need one, but if you find one, take it.
Now,
but at the same time, I think you're going to see Seaview run all their shooters off the 3-point line. So I believe it'll be easy for them to get a quick layup because their mentality on defense is going to be no 3s under any circumstance.
And I'm going to propose this question to you. If you're Seaview, do you foul?
I think you do eventually. I don't think you do it right away.
You foul under 4 seconds.
I think you foul if there's still nothing going towards the basket, which I think RKE is going to get a quick bucket here. I think that's the strategy they go with. But if they're holding for a shot to tie, I think you foul about 4 or 5 seconds left. Make sure they're not in a shooting motion. Just get them on the – if they're trying to curl around, get them on the curl. No shot motion at all.
I don't think it's going to come to that, though, because I don't think they're going to wait that long to get off a shot, because if you miss it, you lose. If you at least get a quick shot, you can at least attempt to get another stop and another bucket.
It's a great tweet that Nick just showed us.
Oh, Rothstein, always foul up 3. That is a good one.
Let's see what Seaview does. They get it to Brown. 16 seconds to play. Brown finds Collins. Collins is going to try a 3, and he couldn't quite connect. Cardesi could lay it in. And Rice is now fouled, and Seaview can smell it.
That's a really tough shot for Jack Collins. I thought he was going to give it off after he tried the pump fake to get Mabry in the air. He really didn't bite on it, still chose to go up at the 3. Not a bad shot with how Collins has played so far, but unfortunate result for them, and now Xander Rice has a chance to put it on ice.
I like that.
Didn't look like there was much of a play that was drew up there. I mean, that was just a one-on-one for Jack Collins, and it wasn't the best shot.
Rice is first at the line goes. So it's now a 2-possession game and a mere 7.6 seconds to play.
Tyler Schmel's telling his team no foul under any circumstances. Even if you got to contest the shot, do not foul.
Rice hits them both. Probably the last guy you wanted to foul, and Sean Gallagher is going to advance it over midcourt with the timeout.
Now I think you have to
I
think you have to hunt a 3 here. And I'm surprised they shot the 3 so quick. They really didn't go out towards the basket at all. They just kind of were looking for a 3 to tie the game. But now I think you have to go for one, whether it's Cardesi or Collins or Brown.
And not even that. Now if you're Seaview, do you foul now?
No, I don't think so. I think you just have to see what they do on offense because, again, it's still a 2-possession game, so I don't think you need to foul.
There's no need to complicate things. I
Yeah.
mean, you're up 5, 7 seconds left. Even if they hit a 3 here, you're still up and with the ball. So don't complicate things. All you have to do here is just make sure that you do not foul on a shot from beyond the arc.
So it'll be Collins to inbound. It's Horton, Collins, Cardesi, Brown, and Davidson on the floor, the 5 best.
5 best shooters.
Yes. And Mabry, so tell us 4 now. So no Mahoney on the bench. They're going to get it in. Who are they going to try to get it into? They get it into Cardesi. Off balance 3. That one goes! That is a huge shot for Cardesi. In timeout by Tyler Schmelz.
Justin Robinson upset at his coach there that he called a timeout. But now with the opportunity to draw something up. But here, I think if you're RKE, you foul on the inbound. Don't let any time to get off the clock and send them to the line right away.
And I actually think that's a good timeout. I know Justin Robinson's upset, but you want to get your best 5 free throw shooters on the line.
That, and also you want to advance the ball over midcourts. There's no chance of anything going on in the backcourt where if you give the ball away, you get him an easy shot at the rim. Just make sure you can get it over the midcourt line and get it on your side of the floor and try to draw the foul. I don't think RKE has any time to try to force a trap.
I was going to say, I don't know if they have any timeouts left, which is huge, because now they would need a full court heave, most likely, if there's a shot missed on the other end.
I don't think you would want to foul any of these guys, but if there's one person you probably would want to foul the most, it's probably Telesford because he hasn't played a lot tonight, so he may not be totally warmed up and ready for this moment, but they're putting him away from the ball as far as possible so he can't get it.
And not even that, not letting, it's O'Garo on the inbound who just missed a big free throw before. They're going to foul Mabry, so it'll be Mabry to the line for 2.
And it looks like
surprised that they used Davidson on the ball. I think maybe you could have face guarded away from it there in order to put an extra defender on one of the sharpshooters, such as Mabry, Robinson, or Rice. But honestly, out of those 3 sharpshooters, I think Mabry's the one you want at the line the most.
And I do believe that RKE has 1 timeout left, so they'll probably use it no matter what happens here, just to set something up.
Biggest free throws of the night. Mabry makes the first.
Ice cold right there. Hit no part of the rim. Pure.
1 more at the line. He makes both. What a job by Roy Mabry, one of the best ever to play in this league. And he might have just clinched a championship berth for Seaview Jeep.
And
I think he also might have just clinched the post-game interview as well, because he has been tremendous and exactly what the Seaview team needed down the stretch.
And you heard Sean Gallagher yell box out right when Mabry went up for the shot. And it's a little bit of gamesmanship, but Mabry, I mean, he's ice cold out there.
Cool as a cucumber. As 4.5 seconds still. So the one thing if you're Seaview Jeep you can't do here is foul.
Absolutely.
Because God forbid a 3 goes in and now you foul and then it becomes chaos. So 4.5 seconds to go. It'll be Collins inbounding. Cardacy, who hit the 3 on the last possession for RKE. What do? They get it to Cardacy. He rises, fires on a 3 and hits with 2.2 seconds to go. Seaview's got to inbound, and they foul Rice.
Once again, Cardacy on those fall-away threes, I mean, he just looks he almost looks better falling away than standing still. And once again, Cardacy on the huge 3. And now, even if Rice can make both these free throws, it's still a one-possession game. I don't know if RKE has any timeouts left now. They might have used their last one.
I don't think they do.
So it'd have to be...
Do you miss number 2 on purpose?
I don't think you can risk that. Especially because, you know, you don't want to risk any kind of timing where you lose the game.
So it's 125, 123. Rice has one more at the line. Well, what does he do?
By the way, he's setting up, it looks...
He misses.
And he didn't hit the rim.
Oh, my goodness.
You have to hit the rim in order for it to fully count as a shot. And he just flung it off the backboard, so that is a violation on the free throw. And now RKE has a chance to inbound.
1.5 seconds is plenty of time to get a shot off as well. But you got to pretty much get it right after you catch it. Maybe you have time for one dribble.
1.5 seconds. Does RKE have the shot of a lifetime in them? Collins looking for somewhere to go. He goes to Cardacy, who hoists it up at the buzzer. Oh, it doesn't go. And that'll do it. Seaview Jeep is on to the championship game after winning an instant classic, 125-123.
I think we've had 3 games of the year in this playoff run alone, and what a job by Seaview Jeep in the closing minutes, but what a job by Kyle Cardacy to make this game close. Unbelievable instant classic. I mean, what a game for the playoffs, and heartbreak for RKE is the 1 seed, but Seaview Jeep heading to the finals. They'll play Stearns Trailer tomorrow night at 7:30.
And if they have Chris Brady and Alahan Demir, which they didn't have tonight, I don't know. It's going to be tough for anyone to dethrone them, but just what a game. And then for Justin Robinson, who has really battled the past 3 years, one of the greatest players ever, Roy Mabry, those two being the leading factors in why our Seaview Jeep is going to the finals tonight. As we bring you into our post-game report, Dan Yuzerski alongside David Smith and Alan Krauthamel. We had the call of tonight's game, and unbelievable that those two are going back to a finals.
Yeah, I mean, we've got an instant classic in the finals. Seaview and Stearns, that's exactly who you want to see. And I think we're going to have a great game on par for tomorrow.
As we pull up our stats, Justin Robinson, 28 points, 30 assists. You have Roy Mabry, who had 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. And for Justin Robinson, maybe the greatest player in the history of the league, a chance to go for another championship to add to a legacy, and maybe a defining one for him in that.
Yeah, 28 points, 13 assists for him. I mean, just another one of those games where he took over for stretches. Xander Rice took over for stretches. I think the two of them playing off each other where they kind of let one guy handle things and then occasionally every few possessions let the other guy handle things for possessions at a time. I think that has been a key to Seaview Jeep's success so far. I'm not going to lie, I thought that shot from Cardacy was going in when it left his hands, but it was not meant to be. And, man, what a game that we had here tonight. What a 2 games that we had here tonight.
And now looking at the stat sheet as well, it really looks what it came down to was Seaview Jeep's execution from the free throw line late in the game. 32 for 37, 86%. And when you win a game by 1, and you only miss 5 free throws out of 37 attempts, that's what gets it done.
And not even that, but the discrepancy in free throw shooting that Seaview Jeep was at the line 17 more times than RKE Athletic.
Absolutely. I mean, it just looked like they had the more intimidating presence down low. It looks like Roy Mabry will be our player of the game for tonight. We'll talk to him in just a minute. But, man, what a game we had tonight. I think tomorrow's going to be equally as good. And if it's equally as good, I mean, that's another instant classic.
The championship is set. Stearns Trailer and Seaview Jeep are taking on each other as we're about to give it over to Roy Mabry, who's about to join the table with David.
All right.
David Smith of the Jersey Shore Basketball League joined alongside Seaview Jeep player of the game, Roy Mabry. Roy, how are you doing? I mean, what a great game to watch from the booth. I can only imagine the experience and the atmosphere being a part of it.
Yeah, it was a great time. I'm definitely tired as hell, to be honest. But it's really fun to play with these young guys. A couple other guys that are now working in the real world. So it's fun to be have a mixed team of both. So kind of work well together.
I bet. So no Alahan and no Chris tonight. So we knew that you guys were going to have some pieces step up in order to beat a very talented RKE team who only lost 1 game all year. And that was you, Tyrone, and Max. Max and Tyrone did a great job in the front court, stepping up, grabbing rebounds. I mean, they had 17 apiece as well. And then you had 22, 6, and 2. And ultimately, those 2 huge free throws down the stretch that really put it out of reach. Cardacy obviously hit a few threes, but it made it really hard to come back from there. So what does that say about you guys as a squad and your depth?
We're a team. Like we like playing with each other. Nobody's out to just get their own, and it's just about getting a win and having fun and competing against dudes who are still playing. So.
Yeah, so I mean, going up against the Stearns Trailer team last year, went undefeated, won the championship, but a completely new Stearns team this year. I mean, Diggy Coit obviously highlights it, wasn't a part of the team last year. Obviously, no more Shavar, no Miles Kale, no more Durkak, no more Jakari Spence. So what's the outlook tomorrow going up against Stearns, and what's your game plan in order to slow down some of their key guys?
Help defense correct, rebound, no second chances, and then good shots on offense. It's all, if you feed into the game of like up and down, get the first shot, it's never going to work. I mean, of course, Justin could score 60 and it might work, but, it's better chances when we all play just a true game of basketball.
So like we talked about, which frightened you a little bit, this is your 13th season playing here in the JSBL. Where would you rank this game amongst all the ones that you've been a part of?
This one just now?
This one just now. It's got to be up there. I mean, that was a great game.
That felt really good just because it's been a while. It's probably been a few years since I started feeling good like that. Injured a couple of times, now I'm in the workforce doing things, not practicing anymore. So today finally felt like, wow, this feels good again. So I would top 10. I've had a few games back in the day that were really a lot of fun and really good, but today felt really good. So.
And then like you talked about, a lot of injuries that you battled, coming off that foot injury that really kind of slowed things down for you. What does it mean for you now to be able to know that you can overcome that and be able to do anything that you put your mind to?
I gotta keep going until the wheels fall off. Basically, at this point, now I see like nothing's gonna stop it. So I'm like, I have to keep going. So, I want to keep playing until my brother is back into it. So I know he's at school, but I want to continue to try to play with him. It's kind of the goal right now.
Roy, thank you so much for your time, and good luck tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.